Picture this. You're sitting in your truck on a Saturday morning watching soap suds slide down 100 windshields. The sun's out. There's a line of cars wrapped around the building. Every single one of them is paying between $8 and $25 to enter your tunnel. You're doing the math in your head. 15 cars an hour. 12 operating hours. 7 days a week. The numbers start to look ridiculous. This isn't some complicated software business or a restaurant where you're managing 50 employees and 1,000 ingredients. It's water. It's soap. It's brushes that spin. You bought the land. You built the tunnel. Now it just runs. The monthly unlimited customers paid you on the first of the month whether they show up or not. The credit card readers don't take lunch breaks. The vacuum stations don't call in sick. You've built a machine that prints money while you sleep. That's the version everyone sees. Here's the version they don't. A car wash is not a cleaning business. It's a real estate play wrapped around a subscription revenue model that happens to involve water and machinery. The actual washing, the soap, the brushes, the drying, that's commoditized. Anyone can clean a car. The money is in the land location with 30,000 plus daily traffic counts, the recurring monthly memberships that customers forget to cancel, and the operational efficiency that lets you run with minimal labor. You're not selling clean cars. You're selling convenience and the psychological comfort of unlimited access. The customer who pays $35 per month and washes twice is subsidizing your entire operation. The economics only work when you understand you're running a subscription software business that happens to have physical infrastructure. Your profit lives in the gap between the $35 they pay monthly and the $2.80 it costs you in water, chemicals, and electricity each time they visit. Scale that across 800 members and suddenly you're looking at $28,000 in monthly recurring revenue with gross margins above 85%. Once you understand that, everything else makes sense. Let's start with the number that makes most people close the browser tab. A single express tunnel car wash location costs between $500,000 and $3 million to build from scratch. That range is enormous because everything depends on whether you're buying land or leasing, whether you're in Phoenix or Connecticut, and whether you're building a basic tunnel or a premium experience. Land acquisition or lease deposits run $200,000 to $800,000 depending on location. You need approximately 1 to 2 acres in a high-traffic area with excellent visibility and easy access. Traffic counts matter more than almost anything else. You're looking for locations with 30,000 plus cars per day passing by. That kind of real estate is expensive. Construction and equipment is where it gets brutal. The tunnel itself, including the conveyor system, the arch systems, blowers, and dryers, runs $350,000 to $1,200,000. Water reclamation systems, which are legally required in most states now, add another $80,000 to $150,000. The building structure, payment kiosks, vacuum stations, and customer areas add $300,000 to $600,000. Before we get to the revenue model, there's a cost almost nobody budgets for: insurance. Insurance for a car wash runs $40,000 to $80,000 annually because you're dealing with moving machinery, water, chemicals, and cars worth $30,000 to $100,000 each moving through your facility. Your insurance company is pricing in the risk of a Tesla getting scratched by a malfunctioning brush or a customer slipping on wet concrete. One lawsuit can cost $200,000 in settlements and legal fees. The insurance companies know this. Then there are environmental permits and water discharge permits. These can take 6 to 18 months and cost $15,000 to $60,000 depending on your municipality. Some cities treat car washes like industrial facilities. You also need 6 months of operating capital before you hit break-even. That's payroll, utilities, chemicals, marketing, and debt service while you're building your membership base. Call it $120,000 to $200,000. Nobody opens day one with enough members to cover costs. Add it all together and you're looking at $500,000 on the absolute low end if you're leasing land in a secondary market and building a no-frills operation. More realistically, you're at $1,200,000 to $1,800,000 for a competitive express tunnel in a decent market. The financial commitment is staggering for a business most people assume runs itself. Most people who fail here don't fail for dramatic reasons. They fail because of 3 traps that look completely manageable from the outside. The first trap is the utilization mirage. When you're planning this business, you calculate revenue based on capacity. Your tunnel can handle 12 cars per hour. You're open 12 hours a day. That's 144 cars daily. Multiply by your average ticket and you get a big number. Except you're never going to hit that number. Real-world utilization on express tunnels runs between 35% and 60% even in good locations. Why? Weather, staffing gaps, equipment breakdowns, the dead hours between 10 a.m. and 3 p.m. on weekdays. You built capacity for 144 cars daily and you're actually washing 60. That gap between theoretical capacity and actual utilization is where $300,000 in projected annual revenue just evaporates. The second trap is equipment degradation acceleration. The franchise sales guy tells you the equipment lasts 15 years. That's technically true if you're washing 20 cars a day. But you're not building this business to wash 20 cars a day. You're building it to wash 80 or 100. At that volume, belts wear out in 18 months instead of 3 years. Brush heads need replacing every 8 months instead of every 2 years. The dryer motors burn out. You're running a commercial abrasion facility. Operators budget $60,000 to $90,000 annually just for maintenance and parts replacement on a single high-volume tunnel. That's $5,000 to $7,500 per month that doesn't show up in the pretty spreadsheets. The third trap is subscription churn reality. Monthly unlimited members are the holy grail of this business. They pay $25 to $50 per month and they're supposed to stay forever. Except they don't. Industry churn rates run 3% to 5% per month. That means if you have 1,000 members, you're losing 30 to 50 every single month. You're not building a membership base. You're filling a leaking bucket. To grow from 500 members to 1,500 members doesn't require adding 1,000 members. It requires adding 1,000 members plus replacing the 400 who left during that growth period. The cost to acquire a new unlimited member through advertising runs $40 to $80. Do the math on constant replacement and the numbers get ugly fast. Here's the part that changes how you see this entire business. You have two completely different revenue streams, single washes and unlimited memberships. Single washes are transactional. Someone pays $10 to $25, drives through, leaves. Unlimited members pay $25 to $50 per month and can wash as often as they want. Let's say you have a tunnel doing 2,500 washes per month. At an average of $16 per single wash, that's $40,000 in gross revenue. Subtract chemical costs at $1.20 per car, labor at $8,000 per month, water and utilities at $4,500, insurance at $6,000, maintenance at $5,000. And debt service on a $1,200,000 bill at $9,000 per month. You're at $33,000 in costs against $40,000 in revenue. You're making $7,000 per month. That's $84,000 per year on a $1,200,000 investment. That's a 7% return. You could get that in a treasury bond. Now let's add memberships. Same tunnel. But now 600 of those 2,500 monthly washes come from 200 unlimited members paying $35 per month. Those 200 members contribute $7,000 in monthly revenue. They're washing an average of 3 times per month, which costs you $3.60 in chemicals and effectively zero in marginal labor since you're already staffed. The gross margin on membership revenue is 90%. Now we get to the number that actually determines everything. Member count per tunnel. Below 300 members, you're probably losing money. Between 300 and 600, you're breaking even or making modest profit. Above 800 members, you're printing money. The one metric that controls survival is membership attachment rate. These numbers are based on industry averages and should be treated as a framework for thinking, not a guarantee of any particular outcome. Let's talk about Richard Paisley in Dallas-Fort Worth. In 2017, he opened 3 express tunnel locations with private equity backing. Premium locations. Brand new equipment. Within 18 months, all 3 were shuttered. What happened? Paisley spent $4,500,000 building 3 beautiful facilities, but his break-even was $62,000 per location monthly. He launched with aggressive retail pricing to drive volume but didn't focus on converting customers to memberships. 6 months in, his 3 locations had 340 total members. He was doing volume, 7,200 washes monthly across 3 sites, but the economics were underwater because single washes carry thin margins. He couldn't cover debt service. This is not a story about bad luck. This is a story about building a high-volume retail business when he needed to build a subscription business. Now take Mike Mounts, who owns 14 tunnels across the Midwest. Started with one location in 2008 in Indiana for $620,000. His strategy was simple: charge $6 for a basic wash, basically giving it away, and convert every customer to a $29 unlimited membership. His pitch: you just paid $6. If you wash once more this month, you're losing money. He hit 400 members in 4 months. By month 12, he had 740 members. That location generated $260,000 profit in year 2. He used that cash flow to fund location 2. Then 3. Every location was funded by cash flow from the previous one. Mounts understood memberships are annuities. Retail washes are just advertising. Here's what the smartest operators in this industry do differently. They don't ask, how do I wash more cars? They ask, what else can I monetize using this infrastructure? First, fleet contracts. Every business in your area with vehicles needs them washed. A fleet contract with a property management company might be 20 vehicles at $150 per month per vehicle. That's $3,000 in monthly recurring revenue from one contract. Operators pull $18,000 to $35,000 per month from fleet contracts alone. Second, detailing services. Set up 2 detail bays and hire 2 skilled detailers. Charge $150 to $400 per detail. Materials cost $18. Labor is $25 per hour for 2 hours. You're charging $200. That's $157 profit per detail. At 10 details daily, 6 days weekly, that's an additional $37,680 monthly in gross profit. Third, vending and ancillary products. The vacuum area is real estate. Put in vending machines for air fresheners, towels, glass cleaner. A single well-placed vending setup generates $800 to $1,800 monthly in profit with 0 labor. 5 locations mean $4,000 to $9,000 monthly. Here is the honest math, not the pitch deck version, the real version. Good year scenario. Single location. You have 820 members at $38 average monthly. That's $31,160 in membership revenue. You're also doing 1,600 retail washes monthly at $14 average. That's $22,400. Total monthly revenue, $53,560. Costs, $8,200 labor, $4,100 chemicals, $5,200 utilities, $6,500 insurance and property, $4,800 maintenance, $8,400 debt service. Total costs, $37,200. Net profit, $16,360 monthly. Annually, that's $196,320 profit on a $1,400,000 investment. That's 14% cash-on-cash return. Bad year scenario. Wet winter. Cool spring. People aren't washing cars. You're down to 620 members. Membership revenue, $23,560 monthly. Retail washes drop to $1,100 monthly at $14. That's $15,400. Total monthly revenue, $38,960. Your cost structure doesn't compress much. Total costs, $35,700. Net profit, $3,260 monthly. Annually, $39,120. That's 2.8% return on $1,400,000. Stay with this because the final calculation changes everything. The gap between these scenarios is $157,200 annually. What causes the swing? Weather, local competition, economic downturn. You control operations. You don't control external factors that determine whether you thrive or barely survive. The person who wins in this business understands they're building a subscription software business that happens to involve physical infrastructure. They think like a SaaS operator. Customer acquisition cost, lifetime value, churn rate, monthly recurring revenue. They track which marketing channels convert to memberships versus one-time washes. They also have access to patient capital. This is not a business that pays back in 18 months. It takes 3 to 5 years to stabilize. The operators who win are well capitalized or have investors who understand the timeline. The best operators aren't running the cleanest wash. They're the ones who figured out the subscription conversion funnel. They A/B test membership pitches. They train staff to sell memberships, not washes. They use license plate recognition to track repeat customers and trigger automated email campaigns. They're running a tech-enabled subscription business. The car wash is just the fulfillment mechanism. So let's go back to that Saturday morning. You're still in your truck watching the line of cars. The sun's still out. The tunnel's still running. But now you see it differently. You're not counting cars going through. You're counting license plates you recognize. The memberships. You're watching conversion rates on the kiosk. You're thinking about the fleet deal you're pitching Monday. You're looking at the 2 acres you're sitting on and wondering what it'll appraise for in 3 years. The romantic version was about passive income and automated money. The real version is understanding you're not buying a car wash. You're buying a subscription revenue platform secured by commercial real estate with a customer acquisition mechanism that happens to involve soap and water. The ones who get rich here aren't the ones who wash the most cars. They're the ones who understand the difference between revenue and profit, between volume and value, between a transaction and a relationship. This business will not make you wealthy by accident. It will make you wealthy if you understand what you're actually operating.